Free money is not free. You're listening to the Home Seller's Advantage. I'm Aaron Zapata, your co-host.
And I'm Todd Anderson, your other co-host. We are the Bald Brothers team at Impact Realty Group with Real Broker, and we are here to give you the Home Seller's Advantage.
You can find us online at www.baldbrothers.tv. Again, that's baldbrothers.tv.
Or you can call us at 833-305-BALD. That's 833-305-2253 today.
Welcome back. I am your host, Aaron Zapata.
I am your other host, Todd Anderson.
We are the Bald Brothers team, as we just announced in our previous little recorded intro there. So thanks for coming back to us today.
Yeah, thanks for coming back. I'm a little bit under the weather, so my voice might be not all together there. In fact, we had we took a week or two off from recording because we were both traveling for different, for the same reasons, but to different locations. You were bringing your son back from college, and I was bringing my daughter back from college. Yours was in a different part of the country than mine. That
is true. And we got to drive back. You did not. You had to fly back.
I had to fly back.
I thoroughly enjoyed the 4-day drive with my son. Actually, it was fantastic. And if anybody's traveling across the country and you're leaving California, heading to Tennessee or Oklahoma or something like that, let me encourage you, make the journey the actual part of the trip. Like, make it part of the whole memory. Mm-hmm. Because it's amazing.
Yeah.
This country is amazing. It's beautiful.
It is.
It's great to see, and it's good to spend time with family.
Yeah, we were actually in New York bringing our daughter back. She lives in Manhattan, and I was sharing with you before the show that this is all things real estate. We're the Home Seller's Advantage. We used to be called All Things Real Estate, but we talk about all things real estate as the Home Seller's Advantage. And if you want to know what you can get, how much it will cost you to buy a one bedroom, 2-bathroom condo in the Dumbo area of Brooklyn. I had found one that was on sale for $1.5 million.
$1.5 million.
Yeah.
For a 600, 700 square foot.
Something like that, yeah.
Condo.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, if you're in Southern California, we just got your prices to look cheaper. Not that they are, but they look cheaper.
So you can sell your home here, and then you can move to buy a one-bedroom condo.
You know, we've got a 2,400 square footer with a pool.
Yep.
For sale for $1.53 million.
Yep.
Swap it out.
There you go.
Swap it out.
There you go.
That's all we need to do. Hey, if you are looking at taking money in exchange for a down payment or help with a purchase, this show is for you, because recently we have come across a number of situations that have been very obvious to those that are selling that the money that they took at that time was not free.
This is the free money episode, or so you thought.
Or so you thought, because free money ain't free.
There's no such thing as a free ride.
Free ride, right, unless you're on the freeway.
Yeah.
But I guess our taxes pay for that.
Yeah, that's true.
And hey, gas taxes, like
that's right.
Newsom's threatening to send those up again.
Nothing's free.
Even more.
Yep.
Hey, if you're struggling right now, the government has a solution for you, and that is that they want to tax you more.
Yep, there you go. That's the solution to everything.
Yeah, and so we're agents, and we help homeowners figure out what they're going to net when they walk away from a property at the end of the day, because homeowners have a higher net worth than renters, and you guys know that. If you're listening to our show, you're homeowners, and you have invested a lot of money and time into your home, your asset. And you need to sell it at some point, and you want to know how much am I going to get? Mm-hmm. Well, we just recently had a situation, and it was a surprise ending. To our movie of this sale. Now, we didn't make a movie, but it was a surprise ending because we did not know that it was going to end this way.
Yeah.
So Todd, tell us about this probate.
So we had a probate listing. And the process, probates are always a little bit more challenging because you never know what you're getting. And we were at the 11th hour. We were ready to close, and we were waiting. All the funds were in, And we're just basically waiting for kind of what for us is just kind of a automatic. It just automatically happens because once the funds are in, then it's released to record, and it closes. We get the recording confirmation. But when it was supposed to record, we get something from our title company telling us, well, no, we can't close because there's this one thing that appears on title.
One thing.
Which was within the city of, can I say the city that it was in?
Sure,
The city of Lancaster had this redevelopment situation where the homeowner, when he purchased the home, he accepted money to help with his payment to be able to put down on the home. And the one catch is that when he goes to resell the property, a certain percentage of the resale price, or the appreciated price, I should say, goes back to that redevelopment agency. And now in this case, because it was a probate, the administrator who had hired us to sell the property was completely unaware of it. Nobody knew about this until it was just caught right before closing.
So when we listed this home, it started with a homeless person that broke into it and slept there. We had to call the police and get them out of there, right? This is a terrible beginning and a terrible ending. And at the end, Todd is what he's telling you is that we got a notice from the Lancaster Redevelopment Agency.
Yeah.
And the way this works is every city has usually most cities have a fund, a redevelopment agency, which is a portion of some money from the public that's collected through taxes that is set aside to help do different things in the town for real estate. And in this case, the homeowner had received money in exchange, probably for the down payment for the home.
Most likely.
And he signed an agreement. And that agreement stated that if this property is sold in the next 45 years, that one of two options was available. A, he could sell it at a reduced price to a lower income family.
Which would mean that it doesn't go on the open market.
Correct.
So you can't possibly get the highest price for it. You have to sell it below market value, off the market to a low income family.
Yeah, so he would. That was one option. And then that new owner would also take on the burden of this agreement.
That's right.
Okay, so if you have it 20 years, you then sell it to another low income family at a predetermined price by the city. You're going to give up some equity, but you don't have to pay them back the money that you borrowed. So that clearly didn't happen because our homeowner, in this case, passed away. So option 2, which is fine, sell it on the open market.
Yeah.
Don't consult us about what we think it's worth, and don't worry about us pre-qualifying the buyer. You can sell it to anybody. If that's the case, you are going to owe us anywhere from 25% on the low end to 45% on the high end of the shared appreciation growth.
Yes. Yeah.
So this property was purchased for $75,000. We then turned around and sold it for $310,000.
Yeah.
So that's an increase of, do the quick math, $235,000.
And it ended up being 35%, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
Which ended up being about $84,000, something like that.
Something like that.
That the sellers, which was the administrator, but all of a sudden at the last second they find out that it's going to be $84,000 less than they were expecting to net.
Yeah, and so clearly, if the homeowner was the one selling this property, he would have remembered.
He would have known. Yeah.
We didn't know it was signed. It was buried in the title information. And thankfully, the city of Lancaster worked very quickly with us. They want their money, of course. And they sent us a little note saying, hey, you owe us just over $82,000 and change.
Something like that, yeah.
And our owner has no choice but to pay it back.
Yeah.
So that ate up part of the equity. Now, here's the interesting thing on this one. The estate had the money because there was more than $82,000 in equity. But let's hypothetically roll forward. Let's say this owner refinanced it last year.
Yeah.
And that's not a restriction. He could have refinanced it, pulled cash out, right, and done something to the property. And now he owes $250,000. Well, we only sold it for $310,000.
Yeah.
If he had done that, there would have been zero equity left in the property because the city, with the development agency, would have still wanted their $82,000. It had nothing to do with how much was owed on the property, but how much was gained over the years.
Yep.
And we were in that tier of 35% was owed because he sold it between year X and year X, in year Y.
Yeah.
And it was 45 years for the first 7 years, and then 35% for the next 10 years, and then 25% thereafter until 45 years, in which they will forgive the loan.
Yeah.
Now they know people are going to sell.
Yeah.
Very rarely do families keep their
It's
homes
very
for
rare to keep it for that long.
Yeah.
So
why do we tell you this story?
we tell you the story because, you need to go into everything with eyes wide open. Oftentimes things are given to you, and if you're just listening, you can't see Aaron's bug eyes right now. I said, well, eyes wide open. But the fact is, listen, these programs aren't necessarily bad because they can give somebody the opportunity for home ownership. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as the parties understand what they're getting into. Now, recently we've seen with the CalHAFA program and other programs that offer down payment assistance to buyers coming in. And if you're a seller, and we primarily cater to you as those who are selling properties, that this is oftentimes what we find happening with buyers. So that's okay as long as you understand what the scenario is. And in this case, as Aaron said, the seller would have known if he had been alive, but unfortunately none of the family members were known. So the moral of the story is you really need to, especially if you're listening right now and you're taking on the estate of a loved one, those are some of the things that you need to be aware of as potentials to ask those questions, to do some digging to find out before selling the property.
And if you're buying a home right now and you're listening to us and you're thinking, wow, I'm thinking about this California Dream for All program, which is where California is going to loan you a down payment. Mm-hmm. Again, it's a loan. It's not a free gift.
And by the way, they call it the free for Dreams for All. It's actually, in the industry, we say for some, because typically the money just runs out.
Yeah, it's going to qualify for 3,000 people in the state. So but if you're in this lottery, right, and you get drawn, and the state provides you with your 20% down payment, go to the website, calhfa.ca.gov. It's called California Dream for All. That's what you hear advertised everywhere. The full name is this: the California Dream for All Shared Appreciation Loan.
There it is in the title.
It is a loan.
Yep.
You're getting your 20% down. Excuse my error there. You're getting your 20% down for closing costs, etc., not to exceed $150,000. However, when you choose to sell this home, you are going to share your appreciation.
20%.
20%. You're going to pay back the loan plus 20% of the increased appreciation. So
once again,
gotta be aware.
If you know that ahead of time, and this is what it takes for you to get into home ownership, that's not a problem. As long as you understand when you go to sell it, you're not going to net the same as if you didn't have that program as part of the package.
Now, let's say your mom and dad give you $200,000 to buy a property, and it's just a down payment. and there's a true gift letter.
Yes.
Okay, a gift letter that they provide to the lender at the time of the loan. At the time of closing, you and your bride are signing on the loan documents, and a gift letter is provided, and the down payment comes in. Now, that's technically free because it's a gift. However, if you've ever had those kind of gifts, a lot of times there's strings attached.
Yep.
They start to, look at your Starbucks budget. They start to look at your vacations, and there might be the subconscious thought of, wow, I provided my kids that money and I was hoping they would pay me back. So anytime you get money from family, you have to be very, very, very clear, because that's not always the case that it's a true gift.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get money in and you might have a co-signer. Now, this is another option. Like, yes, we're going to provide you down payment, but we're also going to co-sign on the loan.
Yes.
Now, you could have two people that are living in the house making the payments, but you have two additional people that are co-signers, or even one person that's a co-signer. Now, if that person is simply a co-signer, what that means is that you're using their good credit to help you get the loan. You also may be using their income to help you get the loan. Now, again, that kind of money is not free. It comes with expectations. And if the other persons that are co-signing with you end up having credit problems, that could also hurt your credit, depending on how you have that arrangement.
Yeah.
So again, not free, comes with expectations, comes with the potential of attaching your credit to somebody else's credit, which could hurt you in the future if something happens financially. The third kind of fourth kind of thing, I think we're talking, maybe it's the fifth kind of free money, is if somebody goes in with you on a purchase and you all buy it together.
Yeah.
I've got a PDF that we can email you. It's questions to ask before buying property with somebody else.
Yeah, and in fact, if you would like us to send this to you, before we go any further, we should let you know how to get a hold of us. You can call us at 833-305-BALD, B-A-L-D. That's 2253, 833-305-2253. And that calls our answering service, and you want to give them your email address, and that way we can send this to you. You can also go to our I was going to say go to our email. You can go to our website, go to baldbrothers.tv, and that will give you a lot of information there. It'll also take you to our primary website, and there you can also add your name to our mailing list. You can reach out to us. A lot of ways to reach out to us and request that information, but I highly recommend that you reach out and you ask for that information because this is valuable. Go ahead and continue with that, Aaron.
So what I was saying, and I completely forgot. No, you have to ask yourself these questions before you buy property with somebody. Like if the water heater goes out, who pays for it? You know, and sometimes this might be where you're buying a second home, like a cabin with a family member or with a friend. Like all these things you have to talk about. Yeah. So you definitely want to get this list from us. Like he said, go to the website, scroll to the bottom of baldbrothersteam.com. It says sign up for our newsletter. Put your name in there, sign up. We'll send this out in one of our emails in the future. So this is a big deal because if you go in with somebody on a property, you are now co-owners. Let's say the other person provides the money and you agree to make the payment. But if you go in on title together,
yes,
all four of you sign the purchase contract, all three of you sign the purchase contract, all six of you sign the purchase contract, this number's not important, then you guys are all sharing in the responsibility for good and for bad of that home. If there's an insurance claim and the house burns down, you all lose in equal portions. In the same token, as the property grows in value over the years, whatever you have signed up for at the beginning is the way you're going to share that equity at the end. And so again, you need to make sure that your arrangements with whoever you're buying property with is clear. And when I mean clear, I mean clear. It is in writing.
Yes.
It's easy to understand.
Nothing is ever clear until it's in writing.
Right.
And that's just a general rule of thumb for all things, but especially when it comes to real estate, because people's recollections and memories of things will change, especially as the years pass on. So make sure it's in writing. And not only is it in writing, but you have retained a copy of that somewhere.
Yeah, that copy of it. And then what's important when you are working in a situation like this over the years is that you don't ratify your agreement or amend your agreement by your actions. So you guys all agree. Todd and I agree. We're going to buy a property together. He's going to put up $50,000. I'm going to pay the mortgage, and then we're going to split the rent, okay, over the years. But I'm not going to put any money up front, and we're going to buy a rental, and it's $150,000, and it's in Oklahoma. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, great. He puts up the $50,000. We buy it. We're now co-owners 50-50. I'm doing the work. I am collecting the rents. I'm finding the renter. But, 1 month I can't pay the mortgage because we've had no renter for 3 months and I've been fronting it. And I come to Todd and I say, Todd, I can't do it. What does Todd do? No problem. I'll cover it this month. Another month comes by. No problem. I'll cover it again. And we have this pattern. Let's say it goes on every 24 months. The tenant moves out and we have this pattern. I could make the argument later when we choose to sell it that even though you provided the $50,000, that our agreement was modified. That
based off the actions.
That I only needed to make the payments 11 months out of the year. And that you were making the other two because every 2 years I missed 2 months.
Yeah.
Right? And we could say that's the actual agreement. So therefore I'm entitled to something more or whatever it is, right? And so what happens is that family members get together, they buy property, friends get together, they buy property, and then their actions don't line up with the contract.
Yeah.
Now, we're not lawyers, we're not attorneys, but I can tell you that when your actions speak louder than your written words, an attorney might be saying, look, your actions show one thing, even though your contract says another.
Yeah.
they're going to look at your actions.
So in such a scenario, the example that you gave, you would have to have something in writing that states that this is not a new a change to the contract, but this will be repaid in some
because
manner.
You could make the argument that when we choose to sell it, I owe you back all those payments you made. And
Based
I could
off
say,
of the
no,
equity.
you never said that I'm supposed to pay you back.
Yeah.
So you're just going to get your agreed upon 50-50, not 50-50 plus the months that I made you pay for it.
Yeah.
Right? So there's all these kind of different things that you have to think about because money is not free. It comes with repayment terms. And if it doesn't have repayment terms, it comes with emotional terms. And if it doesn't come with emotional terms, it comes with strings attached.
Yep.
Just saying.
And things have a tendency to change over time.
They do. Yeah. So if you are looking at purchasing a property or you are selling a property and you've got some sort of situation kind of running through the back of your head right now as you've been listening to us, give us a call. We would love to talk to you about your individual situation because we sell homes.
That's exactly what we do, and we're pretty good at it, aren't we?
That's right.
But, we always come into unique stories and unique scenarios and situations, and these examples that we've just shared are not just examples we've read about. These are examples that we've lived through, and actually quite recently on both of these. Both as we opened up with the sudden bill that was due at the end of an escrow, and then we had another scenario pertaining to what Aaron was just talking about, where money was loaned at the beginning to get into a contract, and then when it came time to sell the property, everybody's recollection changed, and it ended up souring the deal from the standpoint of the sellers.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we're talking about real estate, but honestly, at the end of the day, what's most important is the relationships in your life, and you don't want good relationships to turn sour or turn south because of a business relationship or business transaction that's not properly documented and agreed upon.
And let me talk about one other scenario that we see all the time, and that is inheritance. A mom and dad pass away, and a property is left to 3 siblings. Now, in theory, that's free money, but it's not free. One sibling thinks they are owed more than the other because they took care of the parents more, or they lent mom and dad money and never got it back, or you name it, you fill in the blank. They feel entitled to more, and the attorneys come out, and all of a sudden that free money is no longer free. There are attorneys involved,
and they get a cut as well.
And they get a cut as well. So always keep in mind, as you're going through different situations right now, you want to give us a call, and you want to talk through it with a legal advisor, a CPA, and a real estate person who understands the ins and outs of the selling costs. And someone like us who've really been through different scenarios, because ultimately, at the end of the day, our goal is to make sure that you net the most amount of money in the least amount of time. And sometimes it's advice that says, you know what, just pay the brother the extra $5,000. Don't everybody get attorneys. Sometimes that's the situation. Other times it's like, you need to talk to an attorney. So our hope is that you'd give us a call today at 833-305-BALD. That's 833-305-BALD. And you know what? That is a free call.
That is a free, and we said free things aren't always free, but this one is free to you.
That's right.
We pay for it though.
We do pay for the answering service.
It's free to you.
Free to you. So give us a call on our dime, and we would love to talk to you about your situation. So I am Aaron.
And I am Todd.
And we are the Bald Brothers team, and we are signing off for this episode. Thanks for liking. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for commenting. We always like to see those comments. So God bless you guys, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for listening to the Home Seller's Advantage. The Bald Brothers team is a licensed DBA of Real Broker, licensed by the California Department of Real Estate, number 02022-092. Again, we do not give any real estate, legal, or financial advice. If you'd like to reach out to us, you can call us at 833-305-BALD, or you can reach us online at baldbrothers.tv. Equal housing opportunity.